A mother, jealous that her daughter was more beautiful than herself, horrifically buried her sleeping daughter in a flower bin. Thankfully, the father discovered this in time and rushed his nearly suffocated daughter to the hospital, saving her life. Anika was only 8 years old, an age when children should be carefree and playful. Instead, she endured terrible suffering at the hands of her psychologically disturbed mother. She would watch her mother and sisters enjoying each other's company and couldn't understand why her mother targeted only her. When her father noticed this, he would comfort Anika with hugs, but this only triggered more brutal treatment from her mother. Terrified, Anika hid under the bed, but her mother dragged her out and violently slapped her face multiple times. This was Anika's first act of defiance. She pushed her mother away and ran toward the door. Her rebellion clearly enraged her mother, who grabbed a baseball bat and struck her daughter with full force. Barely alive, Anika was rushed to the hospital by her father. Looking at the severely injured child, even the doctor couldn't believe a biological mother could inflict such harm. He advised the father to separate Anika from her mother, warning that otherwise, Anika might suffer even more severe psychological trauma. With no alternatives, the father sent Anika to live with relatives. 15 years passed, and Anika had become a female detective inspector. Yet she still hadn't escaped the shadows of her childhood trauma. One day, they received a report about a female body abandoned by a stream. At the scene, police discovered the victim was only 13 years old and completely naked. The strangulation marks on her neck were chilling, and her hands had been positioned in a peculiar way. Various hair samples and a piece of cake were arranged on the body, suggesting the killer had performed some kind of ritual with the girl. When Anika found the girl's family, her parents described their daughter as a well-behaved student with excellent grades. However, when examining the girl's computer, Anika discovered someone completely different, a girl who smoked, drank, dyed her hair, frequented clubs, and led a chaotic personal life. Soon, the police station received another case report. When Anika arrived at the scene, she was shocked to find the second body displayed exactly like the first, naked with a small cake placed below the waist. Even the ages were similar. At the second victim's school, Anika learned from classmates that this girl also had a reputation for promiscuity. Analyzing both cases, Anika identified commonalities. Both victims wore heavy makeup that made them appear older, yet their bodies had been stripped of makeup and flashy clothing. This was clearly a premeditated serial killing targeting promiscuous young girls. The killer murdered them, removed their impure makeup and clothing, and placed them by a clear lake, as if subjecting their dirty souls to nature's purification. Since cakes were placed on both bodies, Anika decided to investigate this lead. She took a cake sample to her sister, a baker, who revealed only 4 bakeries in town could make such cakes. However, her sister seemed reluctant to provide a list of these shops, leaving Anika without her only lead. One day, Anika visited her mother in the psychiatric hospital. The doctor mentioned that Anika's brother-in-law frequently visited her mother, always bringing a small cake. This revelation suddenly connected the dots for Anika. To confirm her suspicions, Anika drove to her brother-in-law's house. In his warehouse, she discovered walls covered with photographs of the female victims. Before she could examine them closely, her brother-in-law struck her from behind. With Anika's life hanging in the balance, her sister appeared just in time and fatally shot her own husband. It turned out that for years, her sister had also been secretly investigating the killer. The serial murder case was finally solved. As the investigation concluded, Anika prepared to leave her hometown, having finally made peace with her childhood memories. She realized she would never receive confession or apology from a mentally ill person.